The town of Millfield was known for its dense forest and treacherous terrain. It was a place where few people ventured, especially at night. The locals whispered about strange happenings in the woods, about how the trees seemed to come alive, and the night was filled with eerie noises. The cabin where the friends had stayed was located at the edge of the forest, far away from any other houses or buildings. It was said that the land it stood on was cursed, and that anyone who stayed there would never return. Despite the warnings, the friends had been determined to have a weekend of fun and adventure. They had brought enough food and drinks to last for days, and had planned on exploring the forest and its many secrets. But as the storm raged on that dark and stormy night, they realized that they had made a terrible mistake. The cabin was not just haunted, but was also the site of a gruesome murder that had taken place years ago. The killer, a man named Jameson, had been obsessed with the cabin and had spent months planning his crime. He had lured his victims to the forest, telling them that he had a surprise for them, and had then brutally murdered them in the cabin. The friends had unknowingly disturbed Jameson's resting place, and he was angry. He had been waiting for years for someone to come to the cabin, and now that they were there, he was going to make them pay. The storm raged on, and the friends were trapped. They tried to escape, but the doors and windows were all locked, and they were unable to break them down. They could hear Jameson's laughter and footsteps echoing through the cabin, and they knew that they were not alone. As the night wore on, the friends became more and more terrified. They knew that they were being watched, and that Jameson was playing with them. They saw shadows moving on the walls, heard whispers in their ears, and felt cold hands touching their skin. The next morning, only one of the friends was found alive. She was sitting in a corner of the cabin, her eyes wide open in terror. She told the police about the horrors they had experienced, but no one believed her. They thought she was crazy, and that the whole thing was just a figment of her imagination. The cabin was never rented out again, and it remained empty for years. The locals whispered about the cursed land, and about how it was best to avoid the forest at all costs. And even though Jameson was long gone, his evil spirit remained, a constant reminder of the horrors that had taken place in Millfield.